Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of JD Plays Dungeons, Dragons, and Space Shuttles Expert Mode Mod Pack. We're on episode 16, and last time we got our blast furnace, we got some steel, we did some Tinker's Construct stuff, we set up some storage drawers, had all kinds of fun. And it's really beginning to allow us to speed up the pace of play, so we should really start to see a bigger increase in the amount of content we can cover and how quickly we can start advancing through the pack. I know I move a little slow. It's just my style. I get it that it's not for everybody. Speaking of which, if you would like to see kind of a different take on this pack, check the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It should lead to a link to Linz Manos' channel. He is an Australian streamer, or I'm sorry, YouTuber, who is also covering the pack. Good dude. Show him some support. Show him some love. You know, throw some subs on his channel. Throw some likes out there on his vids, and enjoy that content. On the other hand, if you are enjoying my series, by all means, hit that like button. If you'd like to see more like it, click the subscribe button, bell icon for notifications, and remember, I do live stream this content on Twitch TV/JDon77. Enough with the advertisements. Let's get started for today. So, as usual, I have a list of things I would like to do. I would like to make a coke oven. I'd like to talk about some Tinker's tools, which you'll see on my toolbar. I already have a couple. We'd like to get to the engineering station. I'd like to make some drawer keys, and I'd like to move on to getting some ducts. Okay, so let's start off with the coke oven. Now, the coke oven, I already have ready to go already. Already. And that goes right here in this advanced crafting grid. Very similar to creating the blast furnace, except for this time we need a bunch of brick, a bit of black iron. This is just iron ingots and black pigment or dye or squids, which I went and killed a bunch of squids to get it. Sorry, I was burping. That sucked. Excuse me. And some sandstone. Now, I don't quite have enough brick in there, but I think I have enough brick prepared. Let's see what we can do, right? So there's four, bam, four, and now we just need to get the rest of the up to 7. And that should do it. This is going to be another 3x3 structure. Oh, I missed one of them. There we go. Wait, what? How did I miss so many of these? Wow, I can't count. And once again, for now, I'm just going to drop it here, and I'll most likely end up moving this later because, well, I don't like how dirty it's starting to make my base having all these multi-block structures here. But for the time being, this will work. So we're just going to build it out. It's going to take 27 blocks, and then we need to come over here and get our handy dandy here's hammer, right? Boop. And what this machine's going to do for us is it's going to let us start to make our own coal coke, okay? Now, I don't know if this works for charcoal, but let's check real quick. Does it give us access to the coke oven? I am not seeing the coke oven on here. So let's look at coal for a second. If we use coal in a coke oven, we will get coal coke. That's great. What if we use blocks of coal? Same thing. If we put blocks of coal in, we'll get blocks of coal out. But we're going to end up making creosote oil every time we do that. 5,000 micro buckets, millibuckets, however you want to say it, but it's 5 buckets for every block of coal we do. For every coal we do, we're going to get 500. Well, let's think about that for a second. A block's 5,000. That's 10 coal worth. A single coal is 500. Now, you may gain an advantage in doing it with time, but you're going to be producing more creosote. So you're going to probably want a method of disposing or making use of all of this creosote. Keep that in mind as we go forward. One of the other recipes that I wanted to point out here is this block of charcoal plus sand to make sandy coal compound in the kiln. This is what we use to make silicone bowls. And if you remember, the original recipe for this also required clay and sawdust. So there is a much cheaper way to make it now by just taking sand and blocks of charcoal. Okay. It's at night. I want to get rid of that rain sound. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to throw these blocks of coal in here and start making our coal coke so we can make more and more steel more and more effectively. I'm full on slag, so my steel production has currently stopped. We'll get the slag out of there. I'm not sure what I'm doing with slag right now. I'll just stick it in there. Okay. So with that done, we now have a coal coke oven to go with our blast furnace. Check. Let's talk about Tinker's tools. Okay. So I went ahead and made 2 Tinker's tools, and I'm going to make the third a bit later. But if you've done any kind of modded Minecraft, you know, that has played with Tinker's Construct, you know what the lumberjack axe and the hammer, the excavator, these kinds of tools are. So I've gone ahead and made a stone hammer. I've thrown a diamond on it, and I've upgraded the speed on it twice. So this thing currently has a speed of 5.8, 40% speed increase, 717 durability. It repairs itself, and it can be repaired through stone. Okay, this is what I'm using as a mining tool for the moment. I'll make some better tools later. The axe is very similar in the fact that it has a mining level of diamond. This is mostly for durability. And this is for chopping down mass wood, right? Why would I want to chop down mass wood? Well, obvious reasons. But what I've been doing is I'll set up, you know, a huge line of oaks similar to this. And I'll just put them in a nice long line around the base. And as long as they are touching each other, when you chop down one, you will chop them all down, right? That's the beauty of the lumber axe. So we'll put that on demonstration right here. I have a little gap, so it shouldn't try to take them all out. But if I break this one block, it's going to chop down all of those trees. And if those other saplings right there had happened to have been grown up, it would have continued to go all the way around. And that's just a really good way to get, you know, a mass harvest on lumber for building material, for fuels, for whatever you need. So the Tinker's tools, they go a long way in speeding up our efficiency. The axe does a 3x3, the same as the hammer does. But if you chop the bottom block of a tree, it will take the entire tree down and give you all of the... Did I die? I don't remember dying there, but alright, I died there apparently. Anyways, it'll give you all the wood. So that's fantastic. The hammer, you know, like I said, you've probably used this by now, but it's just a 3x3 smash, okay? Now, I did go ahead and get some netherwort growing back here for when we need this stuff. I haven't really been doing a good job of maintaining it yet. In fact, this is going to be the first time that I've checked in on it since planting it. We'll go ahead and get that going. I have increased the footprint of our inferium, so we're getting more inferium seeds. I've also increased the footprint of our coffee. And if you'll notice out here, I'm carrying more and more grass. That's because I've been using this Silk Touch pick here and there to pick up more and more grass. I like having grass on hand. It's helpful, but I don't want to have to dig all this stuff up by hand. So I do want to make one more Tinker's Construct tool, and that's the excavator. And I saved this last one just so we can kind of do it on camera. And what we're going to need is our 9 lovely pieces of sawdust to compress these. They're compressed sawdust. And I've made a diamond hammer because I'm tired of having to replace my hammer every few uses. That'll give us our pattern. I already had a pattern, it looks like. I had several. Nice. So we'll go ahead and pull out an excavator. Toss that in there. And then we'll just need the basic materials to get this done. Now, I did figure out, you know, I told you guys last time or a while back that the better way to melt down stone in your smeltery was to make these large plate patterns. That's not untrue. However, the stone, or the hammerhead, actually takes 16 stone. So it's an even better way to compress your stone to melt it down in the forge. And we're going to make use of that here in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and make an excavator head. Let's make a handle out of wood so that it can repair itself. We can make the binding out of just about anything. I'm going to go with wood because why not? And then we need a plate. And usually I'll do the plate out of stone for my basic one. And we'll upgrade all this stuff down the road, most likely. It just kind of depends. I don't always upgrade it. A lot of times you can put enough modifiers on these things with how little you use them to never need to upgrade them. But this is a basic, you know, excavator. Now this one's only got 168 durability, so generally I would stick a diamond on that just to really give it some oomph. And if I really wanted to mass harvest grass, I could put Silk Touch on this, right? And maybe I'll think about doing that down the road. But for now, look at all of the stuff under here. Look at all this lovely substance that we've got going on. You might ask. E, what have you been doing? Well, friends, I have been disposing of dead bodies. We've been making charcoal and ash. Alright, this is a 64 block wood pile. So this is about to get interesting. So before I even attempt to do the crazy stuff with this, I'm going to go empty my pack real quick like I should have done to begin with. I don't need to sit there and just drink coffee. It's going to wire me out. That would be bad. Alright, so real quick, let's take, and we're just going to dump. That's not what I need to dump. I need to dump this here. We're just going to dump everything we have into this guy. Bam. What? Go. Okay, let's do that. Can I have those berries back for a minute? Nom noms. Oh, wait, I can't. Oh, I just ate. I'm a smart guy. Alright, let's harvest some ash and charcoal. Let's see how much we get. I wonder if fortune affects this. I bet it doesn't, but it would be really cool if it did. And you don't need to use a tool on this. You can pretty much just punch it. I was just doing that to cover more ground at once. So a 64 pile yields you this much charcoal and this much ash. So that's 16 stacks of charcoal and 2.5 stacks of ash. Not bad to get the charcoal game going. And then obviously with charcoal, you know, we can, what? We can turn that into block form, use it in our handy dandy nether furnace here and get super good efficiency out of it. And I've been just storing a lot of it up in here, but I will need to block some of this up. So yeah, we're just gonna drop it in here for now. Ash can just, for now, until I make it into like ash bricks or something better. Ash actually has multiple uses. You can use it for composting. You can use it for bituminous peat. Turn it to small ash powder. There's a few uses for it. So, yeah. All right. So that's talked about the Tinker tools and the mass influx of stuff we've been getting for smelting things. Let's talk about the engineer's workshop. So if we go to our questing log, to move into tier 1 questing, we needed to make this engineer's workshop. Well, I've got that set up right here with a wood tank, a log, and some copper plates, and that's ready to go. So bam, we are now in the business of being engineers. Okay, and that's fancy. We need that. Let's check that off, because that's going to lead us to something else that I want to do today in the form of ducts. But before we go after ducts, I would like to look at drawer keys. Okay, so drawer keys are going to take some gold, a little more just to be safe, because I forget. We're going to need to make 2 keys, a quantify key, and if you're on a server, you may want some of the additional keys. But these are the only 2 that I want. And I'm going to need to make 2 of these keys. I want a drawer key to lock them and a quantify key to show the quantities on them. So we're going to need to make one of these upgrade templates. And I'm not quite ready for this until I can make this filter module, which technically we can probably pull off making. So let's do it, right? Should have chests in here. Oh, here. Yes. And some... Yeah, there's that. Okay, and this, and we're going to pull out a hopper. Okay, there's that. And we're going to take, and what do I need? Copper, iron, redstone, paper. Alright, well here's iron, redstone. I know I've got paper somewhere, right? Right there, bam, okay. So it's like this, yeah. Bam, alright, filter module, huzzah, we made it, okay? And then we want to take and make this guy with some wood casings. And I was just making wood casings like a little bit ago. Kind of wild that I need them again. What was it? Wood casing. Planks around logs with sticks. Okay. I need 4 of these. Alright, planks. I've got logs out the wazoo. Right. There, bam. Okay. And that all goes into here with sticks around it, okay? I don't think I have any more sticks, but I've got bones, right? Bones for days. Okay, let's do bones. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the filter. And then bones around the sides. That gets us these 2 upgrade patterns, which is perfect because that's what we need, right? We want to make 2 of these quantify keys. But before we do, we're going to need some nuggets. Now, I'm going to need more gold ingot. Probably something wrong. Okay, put these guys and put these guys. So 2 drawer keys. Now, the next thing we need is to get this quantify key is an ink sac, a book, and a feather. Okay, well, I've got books here. I've got ink sacs here. I've got feathers here. And that will give us a book and quill or something like that, right? Bam, bam. Yeah, book and quill. All right, cool. And then if we take that and put these together, we will get a quantify key. Those are big deals to me. Okay, I want those. Reason I want those is because this allows us to come down here and lock these guys up. Now, this setup right here is a very easy way. This is a compacting drawer. And a compacting drawer is not difficult to make. I know I didn't make this on camera, which I probably should have. But we'll just search for it right quick. Compacting drawer. Right here. So it's just two pistons with a standard drawer, some stone, and a piece of iron. Okay, we've made all of that stuff before. And what this does is, that, for example, right here, I'm now storing 925 cobble, or 102 compressed cobble, or 11 double compressed cobble. Same thing down here, 20 dirt, or 2 compressed, or 0 double compressed. Now what this does for us is it allows us to convert all of this extra stone from these other biomes. Like, for example, let's say I wanted to convert all of my marble cobblestone into regular cobblestone. There's a few different ways you can do it, but the easiest way is just compress it, right? You can take that, well, not the easiest way, but the way I'm doing it is compress it, and we can just throw it in here as compressed stone and then pull it back out as standard cobble, okay? Now, with that, the quantity key right here is what has allowed us to start seeing the numbers on there, which I love. And the drawer key will lock it so that even if I empty this, like right here, see how this has 20 in it right now? If I shift click this and pull all 20 out, it still holds and says, I will only accept dirt even though I have no dirt in me right now. So that's great. That takes care of drawer keys. The next thing I want to talk about is ducts. So we've already got, you know, a duct right here in the form of a fluid duct and a servo that we can pull, you know, fluids and gases out of machines. And I would like to get into some more advanced versions of the ducts. Main reason being, I would like to be able to automate our smeltery and automate some of our other processes. Well, if we look at fluid duct, we will find out that this fluid duct, I should have another one of those, I think, right over here. Right here. Hold shift. Will break if contents are extremely hot or extremely cold. But that doesn't do me much good on the smeltery if I'm using, you know, melted metals. However, the hardened fluid duct will allow us to do anything. And it's not difficult to make. It takes some liquid silicone, some Invar, and some glass inside of an engineer's workshop. But I don't really like to use the transparent ones very often. I tend to go for the opaque, which require wooden plates. For the liquids, it's not as big of a deal to me, but for the item ducts and stuff, which is the other thing we're going to look at today, are these item ducts for transferring items. If you get too many things going through there, it begins to create lag at times, and that's what I'm worried about. So, all right, boule right here. I should have some of these silicone boules somewhere, right over there. So to get some silicone, we've got a few different ways to do it, but the best way that I've seen to do it is to take it and melt it down in a Tinker's Construct smeltery. And we've been using the crap out of our smeltery. I've got it loaded down with seared stone right now, but it looks like I could just melt these guys into there. And that gives me silicone, okay? Now, I don't know if this is still the way we're going to be able to do this. This is going to be purely experimental. But I know used to you could get a bucket of silicone by doing this. So we're about to find out if this works. And there we go. We got a bucket of silicone. And it's a temperature of 300K. I'm sure that's burning my little fingers off. Each one of these that you melt should be giving you exactly a bucket. And I just melted down several. So we should be getting a good little bit. Or did I only melt down 3? Yeah, I only melted down 3. Good. I actually did calculations. Winning. Let's take our liquid silicone and let's see if this will allow me to put it into the old machine here. It does. Huzzah, we're winning. Look, we've got silicone in there. Okay. So now if we want to go ahead and make our fluid ducts, let's get some glass. And I've got the rest of the stuff for it right here. So for fluid ducts or hardened fluid ducts, it said that I was going to need some Invar plates and some glass. And I need a gem cutter. I'm not going to do a gem cutter. I don't want to make one right now. Too lazy. Instead, I'm going to use wooden plates so that I can skip the gem cutter part. Just going to put these in here like this. We just need pliers and a hammer. Well, I think you've got those for me, right? Here's pliers. I know I've got a hammer. I just made one, right? Right here. Bam. All right, so there's a hammer, there's pliers, and there's 8 hardened fluid ducts. Fantastic. The recipe for the item ducts, and I'm going to be making, so you could make item duct right here. I would like to be able to make these vacuum item ducts, which is not much different, but would require lead plates and electrosilicone, and we'll be making that eventually. This is just silicone with electrotine around it, so not difficult. Lead plates, obviously if we can make electrotine plates and everything else, we can make lead plates, so that's not hard. But these, what they'll do is they'll speed up the movement of items around your network by decreasing the path. If you want to slow down the movement of items, you can use these dense ones. We're just going to use standard for right now, okay? Because we're not really going across a large network to do anything with these yet. Just very simple, early on business with moving items around. Boom, item duct. Okay, so what does that do for us? Well, right off the bat, let's grab a servo and let's take these hardened ducts and let's pop this guy off right here. Now, this is one of many, many ways you could choose to do this. This is just how I'm doing it for now. To give myself the access to move fluids and items around. But we stick our servo on here and we say ignore. And now this thing is going to just sit here and pour out blocks of stone directly into here, which will then fall into here. And I have now automated my smeltery somewhat, right? I could set this up to where it uses a redstone signal so that I could toggle it off and on as I wanted to. But it's pulling the liquid out of the smeltery, pushing it into here. It's falling through from the hopper and going there. So I don't have to sit here and get all 30 plus blocks of what's remaining of this seared stone out. Yay, that makes me a happy guy. I'm going to turn this off for now and I'll come back and deal with it later. Okay, so that's awesome. Now, other thing that I want, let's go up, is let's talk about the item duct for a second. So it would be super nice if I had a way to automate these bees, and it turns out that with an item duct I do. Now I'm probably going to want to get, let's take this guy and let's steal this. I need to get my actual pick so I quit wasting the durability on this. This guy. I need both of these servos. And servos are easy to make, right? Plate, glass, a servo, 3 iron plates, a red alloy ingot. This, or you can make it by going in here and doing copper and redstone. Either way, it's your choice. So easy peasy to make these, and I'll be making more of these. But we're gonna start off. Let's automate our forest bees for a minute. Okay. We're going to take our item duct and we're just going to pop this on here, and we're going to put this guy. I gotta remember how I did this last time. There's a couple of different ways to do this. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Okay, we'll put this guy down right here. And what I'll do is I'll take some of my drones and stick them in here. Okay. We'll lock it up so we can see how many drones are in there. And we'll just put a servo right here. And what's going to happen is it's going to ignore and it's going to start pulling. At least it should. Oh, it tried to pull the honeycombs out first. Hang on. We got to fix that problem. So right here, let's just get a basic drawer again. Oh, I am amazed. That's not working. There's another way we could do it, though. So we could do it using a hopper, I believe. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I'm lying to you guys. You can't automate beehives. Or bee houses. Or can you? I thought I had automated bee houses before. Hold on, I want to make a hopper real quick because I'm pretty positive that I have automated a bee house before. It's just been a while. I need 10 of these real quick. My hammer back. Oh, this is where we go into the weeds, guys. And we're like, oh, and I think we could have gotten the molten silicone quest completed. I didn't realize you could do that easily. That's pretty cool. Test that one soon. Anyway, back over here. That's what I get for not checking quests, right? Oh, in here, this is what I'm looking for. Plates. Pliers, hopper. Okay. Go. And let's just take this guy. Let's pop. We're going to change this setup slightly. We'll put our item ducts here. And what we'll do is we'll break this off. Put our hopper underneath. Okay, so apparently you cannot automate these anymore, and that's fine. It should work with apiaries, but with this it's not going to work. So we cannot automate using. I think it was Ender.io that allowed me actually to automate the bee houses, and before that I was unable to automate the bee houses. So don't try to automate your bee houses because apparently that doesn't work. But yeah, we can move items around. Where's another good spot to put this to the test? There's plenty of good spots, to be honest, to use it. I'll have it set up and running for you guys next time. But yeah, so it looks like if we would have made some silicone bowls, which I showed you guys earlier, right? There's an easy way to do this. Block of coal and some sand. So I should have a block of charcoal right here. 8 sand. Take a poquito charcoal. Drop this into here. And put this into there. That'll get going. Now, one thing I will warn you about, there is a recipe to make this alloy ingot. It requires 1 pulverized copper, 1 redstone, right? That same pulverized copper could be used in several other recipes, right? But there's one for making electrotine where if you do 3 copper to 4, you get electrotine. That is not working in the current pack. I think it's 5.5 that I'm on, but in the next update it should be fixed. So, good stuff. All right, I think we're at a good stopping point. We're gonna go ahead and I'm waiting on this to finish so we can test this cell theory here, where we make a silicone pool. But we did get this guy knocked out. Now this sandy glass, that's easy to make. We've talked about this in the past, right? Take some glass, sand, together, sandy glass. This wants me to make 10 of them. I don't think I have 10 on me right now. Maybe. 3. I'll have to make that in a little while. I'll probably make that one offline, guys, because it's pretty straightforward. What are the other things in here? Oh, this tank. No, we already had this, right? We made this a while back when we went on our nether adventure. So there's that. All right, so that's going to get us a lapis stake null panel. The power of the sun, our first solar panel. Adds 12 different tiers of solar panels that generate FE or RF. The first panel generates 4 and is very inexpensive to craft. Just takes wood, redstone, some glass, and a redstone transmission coil. We'll get to that one next time, most likely. I'm thinking that sounds good. Here are our 4 sandy coal compounds, which we can now take and toss in here and become rich off of cooking, right? Only this thing was super fast at cooking. But we only need 1 to test this bool cell thing. And, you know, this might be a better way to, I guess, make your silicone to put into your engineering station. I just wanted to test the smeltery. That gives us a solid silicone cell. Okay. So that should take us here. Oh, it wants me to make 2 of those. What? How fancy. Bam, and bam. We are at the 30-minute marker, so I really want to call this thing done. But from here, we could go to get the gem cutter. It wants us to have mineral trees. Wants me to cook this to get some silicone cells. Okay, that's an interesting way to go about it, but I'll do it. Why not? So, like I said, you can either throw it in the smelter, you can do it this way. There's several different ways to get your molten silicone. You're going to use this in your engineer's workshop, sort of how you use methane in your blacksmith's workshop and milk in your cooking workshop. They all have different, various liquids they're going to use. This is just another way to achieve that, end result. There's that, and that leads us on to this. We've obviously got mineral saplings outside we could go scoop up, which is going to lead to batteries. The gem cutter is a new tool for us. We want to start picking up flowers. All this stuff, pretty straightforward, pretty easy stuff. We'll get a lot of this knocked out next time and dive deeper into the Tier 1 main quest storyline. We'll also start to look at Britannia. But I think at this point, we can say that our to-do list is done. Good job to us. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. If you are, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you'd like to see more like it, click the subscribe button. Bell icon for notifications. And remember, I do live stream this stuff every day. Twitch TV/JDon77. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.